Welcome back to Girl on the Go DC. So today's video is going to kick off my series of home renovation videos. If you don't know, I'm a first-time home buyer. I purchased a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath house, and I've been documenting all of the updates I've been making. This video today is going to focus on how I renovated the kitchen for less than $100. So if you're into home decor and renovations, make sure you check out this series on the playlist. And it's going to be covering things like this pill and stick wallpaper behind me, how I did that and how easy or difficult it was. Spoiler alert, very difficult. Also reviewing some mattresses. I have 2 Caspers, one in my room and a different one in the guest bedroom, so I'll be reviewing that. And different things like the cabinets and all the things I'm doing around the house. So make sure you check out that series if you're interested in home decor. Okay, so this is how I renovated the kitchen cabinets for less than $100. When I first moved into the house, I felt like the light brown cabinets were just kind of dated, and I wanted to give my home a more modern feel. So as a first step, and what I recommend you guys do as well for your homes, is I went to Pinterest and I looked up kitchens with black granite countertops. So I wanted something that would go. I didn't plan on switching the countertops out, so I wanted to see what other people did with their space. So that was my first step. I started a Pinterest board, and this is the kitchen I used for my inspiration. After getting my inspiration, I was ready to go to Home Depot and choose my paint color. As you can see, there are a wide array of paint colors, so going in with what you want is a huge plus. I was able to narrow it down pretty quickly to these grays and whites, and then honed in on more of the grayish whites. If you go to the Home Depot website, you will see that you can actually choose your paint color here. This is showing what I have is called etched glass, and you can see similar colors. The site then goes on to recommend colors that go well together, and it is a pretty well put together site. I'd recommend using that before you go into the store. I didn't know about it at first. This feature is also a huge help. You can see what that color looks like in different rooms. So I'm going to choose a kitchen. And as you can see, they're going to show you a sample kitchen here. And as you tap the cabinets, it'll show you what they look like in the color you selected. In my case, the color being etched glass. This is how I was able to transform my kitchen for less than $200. I'm going to run you the numbers as I go down this list. Of this list, I already had soap for washing the cabinets. I already had the drill and screwdriver, and I already had solo cups, and I'll tell you the use for that later. So I got a bucket and microfiber washcloths from the Dollar Tree for $1 each. From Target, I got a paintbrush set for $6.99 and a paint roller for $7.19. From Walmart, I got foam brushes and 3 trays. That was 47 cents and $1.88. From Home Depot, I got a 2-inch foam brush and a 1-inch foam brush, 78 cents and 68 cents. My paint was 128 ounces. That was $30.98. I got a 4-pack of 220 Grit Sandpaper for $4.27, and I have 3 of those. Another tray liner at 87 cents, disposable gloves at $5.97, and my grand total is $71.49. What really drove that price up were the pull bars, because I wanted to be fancy in my kitchen, so I needed 3 packs of the 96 millimeters, which was $20.98, and 4 packs of the 160 millimeters, which was $9.98. That brought my grand total to $102.86. I got the Precision Alignment Guide from Amazon for $7. One thing I forgot to mention on that list is painter's tape, which I already had, but you're going to use that painter's tape to put labels on each of your cabinets so that when you go to put them back up, you know where they go. So starting with the top left corner, you would have top 1 and 2, top 3 and 4, as you can see here, and continue on. The next step is you're going to take each of these down, which is why it's important to have them labeled. As you can see here, I have a few helpers that are just using that drill to take the screws out, and we're going to take each of these cabinets down. Now that they're down, I have them laid out in my garage, just on some old bed sheets. And the labels are on them. We're going to stick them next to each cabinet on the bed sheet. The first step is using this sandpaper, and we're going to sand those down. So the purpose of sanding is just to remove any imperfections, to give you a nice smooth surface to start with. You have a decent sized kitchen, I do recommend getting some help for this. What you see here is we're just taping off the area around the cabinets so that we don't get any paint on the walls, because eventually we're going to have to come back inside and do this area as well. So as my friend is taping off the areas around the cabinets, I'm actually going through and sanding on the inside. One thing that I guess I actually did not record is us washing down with soap and water everything after we sanded it. Sanded, is that a word? I think so. So now I just have us prying open the can of paint because we're ready to go in. And with this paint, you don't need a base or a top coat, so we can just apply this paint. We're gonna do 2 coats. I'd actually recommend 3, but honestly, this took us about 48, it took 2 days. I won't say a full 48 hours, but it took a very long time. So we're just gonna do the 2 coats. If you have the time, I do recommend the 3rd coat. So here we're just going in with those foam rollers. I'm sorry, paint rollers, not the foam brushes yet. These are just paint rollers. And we're just going in, doing long strokes up and down to get the paint spread evenly across the cabinets. And you can get a pretty good glimpse of it here, but we've propped up all the cabinets on solo cups. So we can actually get the corners and really get in to all sides of that cabinet. With it laying flat on the ground, it would be very hard to get those angles, but when it's propped up, we could go in pretty easily and get the sides. I'm actually going in here to some creases and crevices with a paintbrush because the foam roller doesn't always get into those cracks. So I'm using the smaller size paintbrush to go in and make sure all the cracks and all the sides are coated. After you do this first coat, you're gonna have to let it sit a couple hours to dry. So at that point, you can go inside. As you can see, we've already sanded inside, wash it down with soap and water, and then start doing your first coat of the inside. One thing I learned the hard way is that there's some metal clips on the side of the cabinet, and that's where like the screws go into, and I had those flipped up. You actually need to flip those down because once you're done painting and you flip those down, you're going to realize that that part of the cabinet will be seen on the side and you'll want to have it painted. So just a little forewarning, all clips should be down so that you can paint the side of the cabinet. Here is a first look at the beautiful etched glass paint color. And I'm just gonna leave it out to dry overnight because that took us a good majority of the day. Here you see we're going in on the inside and now doing the same thing, painting. This is where those foam brushes come in handy. The roller will get you only so far because, you know, there's so many small spaces in here that you're gonna need angled brushes, angled foam rollers, and different materials to help you paint on the inside. Okay, jumping ahead, at this point we have 2 coats of paint on everything. We've painted front and back of the cabinets and we are ready to install them back. So that is what you see here. We're just putting the screws into place and then going in with the drill and tightening those screws and getting all the cabinets back in place. Here is a really quick reminder of the before. A little boring in my opinion, kind of dated. And here is the after. Looking a little fresher, brightening up the space, modern. But of course, I'm not done yet. This is where I'm gonna go in, mount those handlebars. So here's a recap of my dream kitchen. And what I noticed is the top cabinets had the bars at the bottom and they were longer bars. And the bottom has the bars at the top and they're shorter bars because the cabinets are smaller. So while those cabinets were still not mounted, I went and made the markings on them for where the pull bars should go. If you remember, I told you that I had 96 millimeter pull bars, and for larger cabinets, I got the 160 millimeter pull bars. So these markings are going to show me exactly where that will be. And I'm just going in with my drill. I already have my markings there, so I can make the hole. And these cabinets were actually pretty thick. I bought a bigger drill and I'm using like the biggest drill bit that came with it. It just took a minute to get through the cabinet. And this is a top cabinet, so the handlebars are at the bottom. It's also the larger cabinet, so it's getting the longer pull bars. Now I'm going in to make my second hole. And what I will tell you now is that these pull bars I have came with 2 different size screws, and I didn't realize that at first. I think it's so if you have a thicker cabinet, there's a longer screw for you, but just double check and see, how many sizes come with the handlebars that you buy, and then check and see what size you want to put for your cabinets. So I could have used a drill for this, but I'm just using a screwdriver and screwing that onto the pull bar, which is in front. So all in all, pretty easy, just drilling holes and then screwing the pull bars into place. If you don't know which nail is right for your cabinet, just hold it up like this and just hold the handlebar up and you'll see how long it is and if it works. There is the finished product. I now have my handlebars. And that is the final kitchen, which I am so in love with. So happy I did this. I later installed these puck lights, which I got from Home Depot, but you can also get on Amazon. Huge shout out to my friend Lauren for helping me through this process. I'm really in love with the results. I think it just updated the whole feel of the place by having these cabinets, installing the hardware, which is a bonus. If you want to keep it under 100, changing the paint color is like gonna do a world of a difference by itself. And in the future, I may want to do a backsplash as well. But for now, the painting and the hardware, that was enough for me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. And again, check out the playlist for more home renovation projects. See you guys.